Girls' school now, I believe. Yeah, I don't know what this monstrosity is they've been allowed to construct there and block that beautiful view out. I can imagine what that'll be like at 4 o'clock this afternoon, but there we are. It's look at him, little carrot top there. That's nice, isn't it? Good to school. Harry Potter too. Look at the socks and the ties and everything. Oh, it's nice. I like it because it gives them a kind of a sense of identity and self-respect, you know, rather than slopping about in their jeans all the time, you know, and then coming about and sleeping in their jeans and playing in their jeans that they've got on. But it's nice, the kilts, the skirts that the girls have got. Cool. To St Andrews and the golf course, and I'd like to share that with you, where the cathedral is, and the castle, the ruins of the castle. Just 20 minutes that, then just for you in the car park. Hopefully with none of those goddamn tourists about to disturb us, we'll be good. It's as we're coming in, Robert Louis Stevenson wrote Kidnapped. You remember the book? We'll pull in on the right here, Kevin. We don't go too close to the riffraff. Stay along this end. That's good. So you see the bridge to the right, the road bridge to the left.
Sure, that'd be great. Okay. And no way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's steel.
Rev it up, let's go. Boom. Let's let them have it. Ciao ciao. Bye bye. Special tours. Look at her, she's sucking that cigarette like a beagle in a laboratory. Look at her, good grief. Aye, aye, aye. So folks, now this, apart from seeing the lovely bridges, I like to come this way because this is a special little village. It's, you know, yeah, this is called South Queensferry, and it's a quintessentially type of, you know, fishing village, Scottish fishing village in the central Scotland. I say quintessentially Scottish, and you look at that first building, you see a Ristorante Italiano. Jesus goddamn! Look at the Loch Ness Monster on the left here. Look at that. Do you see that? What a lovely village! It's the real deal. Miramare. Here we are. Now we go nice and slow through here because we can't go anything other. But look at this. Isn't this pretty? I mean, this isn't out of a Hollywood set, folks. This is the real deal. To get next. There we're going to look at up the little terrace up there on the left-hand side. Nice coloured buildings, you know. That's pretty. I like South Queensferry. Just you go back, chap. Come on, we're bigger than him. Look at this on the left, you see that the little parlour, there's the sea kist. Kist is a chest. Kist, like a chest to put things in, you know. Some nice little shops in here. So the original shops, you know. Manor House Bakery. Scripples, I doubt that. Great little pub here on the left hand side. You see come out with the red painting and whatever. The Ferry Tap. Look at this on the left hand side. The ale house. And the Vennel, the little alleyway up there is called the Vennel. And this is the High Street. I suppose it's quite big, it was big at one stage for this place. And the Jubilee clock, 1887, it's Queen Victoria, 60 years on the throne. This used to be the Queensferry Arms on the right hand side. It's now the Rocco Pier. It used to be a nice old charming place. They've kind of modernised it. I don't use it. But look at the views to the restaurant. You see, looking through. We used to go there in the evenings. We've just got to find our way up to this. They've put a whole lot of new infrastructure in for the new highway. You know, when the new bridge went across. So we've got to try and find it. But don't worry, we'll be all right. We'll be good. Got a nice old church. I don't know anything about that church. It's an Episcopalian church. I can see that, but it's old, isn't it? It looks from the architecture around about the 14th century. Yeah. Now. Yeah, the last time I brought the driver down, he wasn't Kevin, it was another chap, and I had him going around in circles. He was dizzy with it, but I think it's up this way. We'll find it. For sale. On the right hand side, the far side. Good. They used the middle bridge, but it was just for limited traffic. Some, I think, sort of local buses and things like that can use it, but it's being more and more gradually wound down. Used to be a toll bridge across there. I don't think they have tolls on this anymore. The first attack on British mainland was here. It was HMS Hood was the capital ship of the fleet, and the capital ship was the most important one. If you could knock out that, it would, you know, demoralise the rest, and they could. And the Germans came and they wanted to do that. It wasn't successful, of course. The Hood had gone, but this was the first attack. Was on this side to our left here. It's been taken over. It's no longer military or government owned. It's owned by Babcocks, and they do cruises. They do cruises here from Rosyth away across the right to the open sea, and they go down to the Belgian port of Bruges to reign in her stead. In fact, Elizabeth I, who promptly put her under house arrest until for about 19 years after, isn't it? You know, it's you're really going to cash in. They've talked about alternative energy modes, like if they can harness the waves and things as well, I suppose. But coal mines. These are dry stone dikes. A dry stone dike. Often when you see dry stone dikes, it means that the weather can get pretty nasty in the winter months, especially. And these dry stone dikes are far more durable than the hedgerows. The hedgerows generally, these are gorse hedgerows I can see just here, but the bigger hedgerows way along are made up of dogwood and hawthorn, and typical hedgerows in the British Isles are dogwood and hawthorn. This is gorse, this is Scotch broom here. The colour's gone a little bit now, a couple of weeks, but there's some of the yellow there. Do you see the golden yellow on the left hand side? A lot of that about in Scotland, but the colour goes, it's you know, we're into June. So it starts to fade. It's important, that one. You know, back in the 12th century in France, Geoffrey of Anjou, he was just about to start a new dynasty that would rule from the Hogmanay. Do you know what Hogmanay is? Hogmanay is New Year's Eve in Scotland. You know, it's a very important day for the Scots. They used to, you know, they'd say Christmases for the children and whatever, but Hogmanay was taken very seriously because it was a time for reflection, looking back. And or younger, I would go back home, and it was tradition you'd be there for the bells at 12 o'clock. And Hogmanay, the 31st of December, is probably the only day in the lives of Scotsmen that they don't drink during the day. They wait till midnight. That's the only. I mean, it gives the livers a great 24-hour rest. It's fantastic. And they do a kind of spring cleaning. The house is completely spring clean from top to toe, and they would put on their best clothes for the evening, and they would have a shower or whatever, bath, and then, you know, whether they needed it or not, they were there ready for Hogmanay, a clean. All the rubbish bins would be taken out, thrown out, so everything was clean for the, God bless you, good for the new year. A very important time. And then you'd be with your own family, and at 5 to 12, my dad in my case, he would get up and he'd charge the glasses, and it would be, even when I was a kid, it was just a small glass of ginger ale or something, but alcoholic drinks for the whiskies or whatever is the traditional thing. And at 12 o'clock we used to hear before TV, we used to hear the bells on the radio from Big Ben. The High Street here. The old houses, there is an old house, some modern ones interspersed between them, you can see that. This is where Douglas Bader, the flyer, came from. There's a memorial park to Douglas Bader, the guy who lost his legs, great aviator. Pretty typical. This is part of Bill Baxter School on the left. It's an IT centre or something. This one on the left here. Westport Business Centre, or something like that. Yeah, Osteo. They've got lots of things in there now. And this is the High Street, going down to the High Street. As we get further down the next junction, the next set of lights after this, you just look to your right and you'll see very typical symbol in Scotland. There's a pedestal, a concrete pedestal, a plinth, as you whatever you want to call it. And on the top is a unicorn. A unicorn is the symbol of Scotland, spiritual symbol of Scotland, and it's also they put it on those pillars, and that is the marketplace. That's the that's where they did all the deals, etc. Market Cross, they would call it normally, and that's where all the deals were carried out. You'll see them in most towns, and the unicorn on top, the Scots started to call it the wee puggy, a little piggy, yeah, wee puggy. It's just along here on the right hand side of the next junction. You see lots of them going around different sizes and shapes, but that's what it is, Market Cross. Very quiet here. It's not late, but it doesn't get very, very busy. Population of Cupar in Fife is about 28,000 people. Look to the right. There's the cross. Do you see the puggy on top? Yeah, that's him. And straight ahead of us we've got the Cupar, the sort of local park here. I like this statue of peace. It's a bandstand across in the right. But I love that Angel of Peace. I think it's really very nice statue. Cupar Highland Games, June. My goodness, that's it. The Highland Games normally in Scotland are in August, July, end of July into August. The Highland Games where they toss the caber. You've seen them when they take the telegraph pole and flip it over a couple of times. Putting the shot and all these there's a little granary here on the right hand side, obsolete granary here, obsolete now, and around about it they have all sort of outlets and car concessionaries and things. More modern bridge, this is 19th century bridge or something we're on here just now, but that bridge is much older, and I speak to you about that now because when we go to Stirling I'll show you the Battle of Stirling Bridge and how relevant that was, that type of bridge, in the planning and the downfall of the English. So it's quite a contrast for you. And this is where the British Open. The British Open started down in Prestwick, 1862, I think, for the first 12 years of its existence. It was played in Prestwick. We'll pass that when we're going down to Ireland on Saturday. But St Andrews has hosted it many, many times. They have 6 golf courses in St Andrews. Fateful day when Doug Sanders was playing with Lee Trevino in the final round of the British Open. And the tradition is that the 18th hole at the end, everybody runs up and there's a rope that's put round the green and everybody can run to the 17th hole, the road hole you have there, and it goes the full length of the other side of the hotel, and that's where they have the wall, the road at the end, and many a good golfer has come unstuck over playing his shot and ending up right next to that particular wall. In the skyline you'll recognise the red building, Hamilton House, used to be a residence for the university, the students here. It's now a hotel, and then next to that you see the sort of Greek columns, the building there next to the columns, that is the Royal and Ancient Golf Club. That's where we're going to stop after we're up town first of all, but that's where we'll make a stop for you folks. There is the Golf Museum which is there, and above the Golf Museum there are washrooms and there's a cafeteria. There are several places for coffee. I'll show you when we come down. So we shall be stopping there in about 20 minutes. I just want to go up to the top of the town just now to let you see what it's all about. John Burnett, I beg his pardon, John Burnett Hall. And as we're coming up here, go slowly and you'll see Granny Clark's Wynd. It's just next to this white van, second white van here. But Granny Clark's Wynd, that looks down there, and that is the 18th fairway coming up looking to the left. There it is, pop up. You can walk down onto the course if you like to, folks, of course. This is Russex Hotel. A lot of the commentary goes from Russex Hotel because it looks right over the 18th ferry. But you can walk down to the Smickle Bridge, famous bridge on the 18th. You can take pictures down there if you like. It's a nice day for it. Smickle Bridge is cool. Is everybody woken up? Give everybody a nudge in the ribs. That was the most expensive sleep they've ever had in their lives. Make them up. We'll come back down here to the golf course in a few minutes time, folks, half an hour's time. There we are. There are 3 streets here, North Market and South streets, and we're going to go up this one. Albany Place is a part of this street. Here's a cinema on this, called the New Cinema on the left hand side. You see with the arch up here. I suppose it was new some stage, but my goodness, it's old and antiquated looking now. There we are, North Street. Here's the cinema. What's showing? Look at it, it's a right old dive. The new picture house. Yeah, because you used to say, you go into the pictures, wasn't you? You go to the movies, you go into the cinema, and you go into the pictures. Yeah, I remember that, yes. Several of the colleges are behind here. There's a Barron Theatre there, colleges here. St Salvator's is very close where Kate and William went to. This is the chapel here for if it's coming together of the students for some big occasion or something, then it would be held in the church here on the left hand side, which is from the 14th century. On the left you see the Scottish version of the flying buttresses, these long columns that holding the walls up. I'll talk about flying buttresses later, I'm sure you know what they are, but to hold the walls up. But that's St Salvator's is in the left here. You look down just where this guy the blue is, look down to the left, that was the Hall's residence where Kate and William met, down here, that nice building down the bottom. I've stayed in there a couple of times with the music societies. And there you can see the start of the remains of the cathedral from the 12th century. We're going to park up here, folks. Bring your earphones. We'll just take a little walk, and I don't want to blather on too much, but I think you'd like to see this. This is the largest cathedral. And the little tower at the end, you can see ahead of us, the rectangular tower, that's St Regulus Tower. That's where the relics of St Andrew were put. They've been taken a long time ago, but that's where they were put. And that building was there and left there, that tower, while this cathedral was being built, so that people could continue to worship. We're going to come off here, folks. Just